Hello, and welcome to Carolina Classrooms. I'm Laura Ibarra. On this episode, we're turning the camera over to student journalists and content creators. Broadcast programs in schools across the state teach students how to be responsible journalists. They learn interviewing and video production skills, and they shared their work with us. So grab a snack, sit back, and enjoy the show. Students in Richland Northeast High School's Cavplex Convergence Media Program report on news and current events.
The Voucher Bill, formerly known as Bill S-39, is a proposition that could lead to major changes in public schools.
What S-39 does is it sets up an educational scholarship trust fund within the state government that would hold an appropriation of money, and then eligible students could apply to receive an education scholarship account from the state to the tune of $6,000.
While the money people would receive if this bill does become official can be used to go to public schools outside of the district or for transportation, government officials are worried that the possibility to use it for private school tuition would be a problem.
The Supreme Court ruled earlier, 2 years ago, I believe, that public money can't go to private institutions. This voucher bill is to try and work around that.
While this bill can be seen as controversial, government officials can see both pros and cons.
Families with special needs students who cannot reach their fullest potential in a public school setting, it would give them an opportunity to go to a specialized or a smaller classroom setting school.
This bill would also give children the opportunity to attend a school of their choice, whether it is a public or a private school, which would grant children with more educational opportunities. Private schools can be better for people that have trouble learning in bigger settings, but opponents of the bill have expressed some concerns.
That private school is fully legally entitled to deny admission to my child because they're disabled. They could also deny admission to my child because of their sexual orientation, their religious beliefs, their academic aptitude.
One of the other expressed concerns is that the bill would only provide families with $5,000 to $6,000 when most private school tuitions in South Carolina cost $7,708. Another controversial aspect of this bill is where the money would come from. The money doesn't necessarily come from public schools' budgets, but when this money gets used for private schools, it does not get used for public schools.
And so if we add a new educational savings account slice to the state budget pie, something else has to give.
With this money being lost, people have expressed concerns that the money could be used elsewhere.
Every dollar spent elsewhere is a dollar that cannot be spent for ensuring that the public schools that are accessible to every child in South Carolina are fully staffed and safe.
If this bill does get passed, the possible effects will largely depend on how many people use it. Reporting for RN ETV Live, I'm Delaney Peck.
Can I please get everyone's attention for a few minutes, please? Yes, including you on your phone. Yeah, you. Pay attention. We have something important to talk about. According to Mental Health America, Latinos are estimated to make up 18.3% of the U.S. population. Of that demographic, 16% of Latinos reporting suffering from mental illness. That is more than 10 million people. Why, some ask? Well, in most countries in Latin America, mental illness is still seen as taboo, and systemic barriers make it difficult for communities to get help. One of those systemic barriers is citizenship. During Obama's first 3 years in office, his administration deported 1.18 million undocumented immigrants. In 2012, he alone deported 400,000 immigrants. This increased the chances of immigrants to experience trauma, such as exploitation, violence, or separation from their families. While the Trump administration only deported less than 300,000 immigrants, his anti-immigrant sentiment led to a rise of white nationalism and mistreatment against Latinos. They're often seen as criminals or bad hombres, and as a result, they lose their sense of identity, experience isolation, and avoid seeking help for fear of deportation.
How many drugs have I dealt?
Ahora, imagínate que el español es el único idioma que sabes. Muchos latinos que buscan ayuda encuentran que ese es el caso. Los servicios psiquiátricos reportaron que entre 2014 y 2019 el porcentaje de servicios de salud mental ofrecido en español bajó 18%. Esto hizo que cerraran varios centros de salud mental en los Estados Unidos. Con el crecimiento de la población latina proyectada a crecer 25%, su alta demanda de servicios de salud mental sigue siendo baja. Esto genera otra pregunta: ¿por qué? Bueno, la respuesta es que no hay suficientes terapeutas para ayudar a los pacientes que no hablan español. La Asociación Psicológica Americana informa que 7% de los psicólogos se identifican latinos y 5% de los terapeutas pueden ofrecer servicios en español. There are more issues than the legal status of an undocumented immigrant, or the injustice Latinos endure, or even the language barrier. It happens in our homes too. In a Latino household, children whose parents are immigrants are likely to experience generational trauma. It is trauma that is passed down through generations. Second-generation Latinos often struggle to overcome the cultural differences between the U.S. and their family's culture. At a young age, they were obliged to act as a parent to their parents or siblings, such as translating for them. This is called parentification, and it can cause a child to have trouble setting boundaries or forming healthy relationships. But it doesn't always have to be like this. We, the new generation, have the power to change this. We can achieve this by prioritizing mental health in the Latino community and standing up for what's right. Reporting for ETV Live, I'm Evan Kano.
High school is all about preparing for our future. Along with academics, schools should have programs that help students explore different types of colleges in and out of state.
It's very unique that a program is specifically for a specific group amount of students, and being able to expose, students to HBCUs, PWIs is something that is very, very unique.
Europe is a program designed for various age groups at any level of education, which also provides exposure to colleges as well as real-life experiences.
Ms. Bispham, she's our Europe coordinator. So she's been with the class of 2024 since 7th grade. So since then, we've got a lot of early experience with colleges, campus tours, and stuff like that.
The term PWI is used to describe predominantly white institutions. One of the things that Richland Northeast High School exposes their students to over other schools is HBCUs, also known as historically black colleges and universities.
Mostly in our college chat and choose. That's when college reps come and talk with the students during lunch or sometimes during class. We make an effort to reach out to HBCUs, and they reach out to us more.
A lot of people look at HBCUs as second choice. When predominantly more doctors and police officers and psychologists and actors come from HBCUs. So HBCUs ensure that you know that you're qualified.
As a student attending a school predominantly attended by minorities and economically disadvantaged students, and as a minority myself, having the opportunity to hear from different colleges is beneficial. Students at R&E are more prepared for the future because of the exposure we have to different types of colleges.
We've gone to Winthrop University, we've gone to Francis Marion, we went to a couple of HBCUs as well.
Unlike R&E, other high schools may not have the same exposure to HBCUs just because of where they are located and what type of students they have at their school. At R&E, 89.9% of our students are minorities, while at Ben Lippen, a private institution, only 23.3% of their students are minorities.
At Ben Lippen, they only showed PWIs, but at R&E they showed PWIs, they showed HBCUs, and they had more things like college fairs. And we talked a lot more about being college and career ready, which I think was really helpful.
Richland Northeast High School gives their students an opportunity to explore different types of colleges. So no matter the school you go to, getting exposure to all colleges is the best way to be prepared for your future. Reporting for R&E TV, I'm Jessica Gonzalez.
Our next story comes from CRN-TV, Catawba Ridge High School in the Fort Mill School District.
If you were to look up artificial intelligence right now, you'd see a whole lot of this. Tonight, we're taking a deep dive into the world of AI with
ChatGPT.
It's being seen as both impressive and
very creepy.
And educators across the country are raising the alarm.
Article after article claiming that this new technology will completely revolutionize our lives. But what even is ChatGPT, and is it really worth all this fuss? Simply put, ChatGPT is an AI-powered chatbot that's really good at generating convincing human speech. It can carry a natural conversation, answer tough questions, and write pretty much anything you ask it to. That last thing has gotten the program into a little bit of trouble recently. You see, there have been some reports of students using ChatGPT to write their school essays for them, leading to a lot of concern from teachers about the technology. So I decided to test it out for myself to see just how well it could write a school paper. And I'm very impressed to say that ChatGPT's essay writing is incredibly, don't get me wrong, it's grammatically correct and it's got some nice vocabulary, but when it comes to any real substance, it's got about as much depth as a kiddie pool. Instead of making AI do your work for you, it might be smarter to let AI assist you. I mean, heck, I'm using one right now to make my camera mic sound like this instead of this. Yeah. All this to say, using ChatGPT to write your next English paper probably won't get you the most desirable grade. And newly developed ChatGPT detectors have made it possible to find out who really wrote that paper. But it won't be like that forever. Pandora's box has been opened. This technology will only continue to get better with time, and it'll slowly become harder and harder to tell the difference between the words written by man and the words written by machine. And it's going to be up to schools to figure out how to solve that seemingly impossible dilemma. For CRN TV, I'm Adam Barham.
Students at the Cooper River Center for Advanced Studies in the Charleston County School District sent us their fire safety video.
Hello, I'm Cynthia Meneses.
And I'm Francisco Gonzalez. We here at the Cooper River Center for Advanced Studies Media Technology Program partnered with the North Charleston Fire Department back in October to make a public service announcement.
Fire and life safety instructor Laura Condor came to us for the idea of the video.
We collaborated in the writing of the script and shot on location at a fire station.
It received positive feedback and it was shared through social media on a local and statewide level, and this is how it went.
Welcome to the House of Fire Safety Whores. Enter if you dare. Never overplug outlets, power strips, or cords. Don't leave your cooking unattended. Make sure you have working smoke alarms. Happy Halloween!
Be NCFD safe. Check your smoke alarms.
Students from the Center for Advanced Technical Studies in Lexington-Richland School District 5 shared this short documentary on English country dancing.
So this started like right as COVID was still going around, obviously, but ending, and like kids are definitely eager to get out of their homes and see each other. And so it was kind of funny because you think with English country dancing, like kids would not want to do that. But because like not a lot of them get to see people anymore, they wanted to like get together. And so we had a really big turnout the first few times we did it. And I think that it's an outlet for me definitely, and it's definitely an outlet for like everybody else involved, because they got to like, you know, get close contact with people, which they haven't been able to do in so long. And so it was just kind of fun, something fun. It became something fun, when you typically think it was something boring that your mom's forcing you to do. But it became fun because kids are so eager to see each other.
To me, it's just something that people of all ages can participate in. It's meant to bring the families together. I hope that children would do it with their parents too, like a family event, but it's turned in more of the teenagers.
Being a dancer, it's very interesting to see this different type of movement because it's very old, it's very traditional, and it's just walking basically and spinning around. I think it's fun, especially the upbeat dances, and so I see it from the dancer perspective, and I really enjoy the counting of it and the musicality of it. It's really interesting how some beats are slower, so you have to, you know, be patient, and then some are faster, so you have to make sure that you're taking 8 counts to spin this way and then 8 counts the other way. And it's kind of fun to watch people learn how to count music, which I think is kind of hysterical sometimes, but it's definitely fun.
It's certainly worth doing in its own right, and it's a fun thing to help to pass along. When I address the young men separately, it's usually about the conventions of how this sort of thing is supposed to work. And it is worth learning to be a gentleman. In the past, and I hope this is still true, military academies which create officers and leaders have always included a dancing component, whether it's ballroom or something else, but in the direction of etiquette, in the direction of being able to present yourself and think of yourself as a gentleman. It's kind of a basic skill. In fact, there was an old saying from the Scottish Highlands, if a man can't dance, don't put a sword in his hand. Perhaps there's something to that as well.
You know, to use the word dance makes people think something very different, I think, in a way, than what we do. It's almost more like a game. To tell them dance, they're thinking, I have to have talent, I have to look a certain way, I have to wear certain things, people are going to look at me, I'm going to be embarrassed, and it's not those things. So it took some months before my friend finally persuaded me to bring the family, and we pretty much just held on to the wall most of that dance until people kind of enticed us to join in, and so then my family fell in love with it. I mean, I enjoy it, a lot of aspects of it. I mean, my dad was a PE teacher and my mom was a music teacher. And I kind of feel like this is a merging of those two things, the PE instruction and the music. So it's kind of like PE to a tune, right? So I enjoy that, but I also enjoy, you know, you kind of have certain people, and even today with their technology, people can kind of live in this little bubble and they don't get out of it. And that, to me, that's kind of sad. So when you get a group of young people together, families or whatever, it's nice because you're helping some people who are rather secluded to kind of open their circle and get out of that. So that's exciting to me.
Even though it's a very traditional thing, like English country dancing wouldn't seem like something that kids would be interested in. It's very awkward for one, like having to come and, ask a girl to dance is a very awkward thing. But I feel like it's shifted because of the fact that kids don't care anymore, they just want to see people, and that they kind of have gotten over that awkward stage, and they've realized that it's really fun to dance around in circles and stuff, which I think is kind of funny. But I don't know, I don't really understand why kids like it now, but I mean, I like it, and so, but it's expected that I like it because I dance. But for non-dancers and people that don't like this kind of stuff, I don't understand why they like it now, other than it's a chance to see people, and it's a chance to learn something new, and I think that that's intriguing.
Heel on we go, heel for heel and toe for toe, arm and row, all for Mary's wedding.
The Broadcast and Journalism Academy at Edisto Elementary School in the Orangeburg County School District teaches students communication, collaboration, and cooperation skills. Their students interviewed each other and sent us this video.
Hi, I'm Imani, and I'm here at Edisto Elementary School visiting the Broadcasting and Journalism Magnet Academy. This Magnet Academy serves 3rd through 5th grade students where multimedia and communication skills are promoted, integrating broadcasting and journalism into classroom instruction means students are given the opportunity to design, produce, write, and publish multimedia content, including visual arts, journalism, and telecommunications. Currently, Baja is filming segments on health and wellness, so let's check it out.
What are things that stress you out? School, waking up, and not being able to get on my game.
In class where I get sad if I have so much confidence in a math problem and I get it wrong. That stresses me out a lot.
The math, my friends thinking about what to say, and schoolwork.
Things that stress me out is when I'm doing something and it doesn't go exactly how I want it to, or if it's not doing it right, I get really stressed about it.
Maybe just trying to get stuff done and kind of under pressure.
School, sometimes my chores, and that's it.
Things that can stress me out is being a lot under pressure and having to do a lot of things at once.
Mainly when I do hard work, or when my little brother annoys me.
Things that stress me out are when I have a lot of pressure, like a bunch of schoolwork or a bunch of people talking to me.
When I'm at school and I have to take a test and I get stuck on a question.
Bad grades, not doing my work correctly.
When I read books, sometimes if I read in my mind, my head starts to hurt and I just do this while I'm reading. And other things, when the teacher is saying stuff that's going crazy in my head, I just stop and focus what she's saying.
How do you relax from that? When I relax, I normally try to do something else for a while and then try to go back to it so I'm calm and I don't mess anything up.
Just try to not think about it. Think about something else that's positive.
Okay. Either play video games or play football.
Either talk to a friend or play a game or something. Watch YouTube.
something that will maybe bring me excitement or something?
Well, I practice and I just tell myself that it's going to be easy. Normally I play with my sister or my dog, and that helps me relax. I relax by taking long, deep breaths. I just breathe in, and then I hold my breath, and I breathe out.
Normally what I like to do is I like to draw. I either go play my game and listen to music or go outside with my friends.
I relax by taking like a little nap.
The one thing I do is pray. Another thing is just breathe, maybe exercise a little.
As you can see, we are growing great minds through communication. Remember to follow Baja at EES on Facebook. This is Imani signing off from Edisto Elementary.
Thank you so much to the students who shared their work, and a big shout out to their teachers who guided them through the process. Join us for our next episode, Thursday, April 20th at 7:30 p.m. The school year is almost over, and we're looking forward to summer break. On the next Carolina Classrooms, we'll explore outdoor learning activities and ways to combat summer learning loss. You can find more education stories from around the state on our website, carolinaclassrooms.org. Keep in touch on our Facebook page or by email and let us know what you'd like to see on Carolina Classrooms. Thank you for joining us.